Comadres. Welcome to the
Hola.
fourth episode of Comadreando. I'm your host, Marcy, and we have an amazing guest today, my personal comadre, Sandy, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Who are you?
Hey, comadre. Hi, comadres and compadres. I'm Sandy, also known as Arenosa, because that means Sandy in Spanish, if you translate it. And I am Marcy's comadre. Yay.
Yay! I'm bringing all my girls.
Yeah.
So today's topic is a very interesting one, and it's a little controversial. And it's regarding the female archetypes. So the reason why the topic came up is I get a lot of questions from moms and comadres alike asking how I make time to have balance, being a mom, a professional, dating, hobbies, and self-care. And who better than the person I look up to, who I'm like, what would Sandy do to share this topic with?
That's funny because, first of all, I want your audience to know that we didn't even rehearse this. I don't even know the questions you're gonna ask, and and I didn't even know that that was the topic. I was under the impression that we were gonna talk about like how to balance, blah blah blah, but I didn't know that was like the title. First, I want to tell you that thank you so much for saying that, and that the admiration is mutual. And second, what was the question?
Well, we're gonna start with the question. So
Oh, okay. I
how
thought
do
you
you
asked a
do it? How
question.
no, yeah. So how do you do it? How do you balance all these hats that we wear as women and still make time for yourself so that you don't feel basically drained at the end of the day?
So I am a mom of three. I am a registered nurse by trade, and I also do styling at the side. I do product placement for liquor, um, Ciroc and De Leon, for a binder agency and Comb Enterprises. And I do it all, right? Um, I wear a lot of belts and I carry a lot of keys like a janitor. However, what I find that works for me is that it's been in stages. So life as a mom when they're newborn is very different when they're toddlers, right? And the same when they're teenagers. And then, like me, I have young adults. I have a 23-year-old son, I have an 18-year-old daughter, and a 13-year-old son, and my dog. So, for me, when they were younger, I was able to manage it like a schedule. I had a calendar, and I remember when I first had my the two oldest, my life was overwhelming because I had two kids, and it was just like that's all I said to everyone. I have two kids. I have two kids. Like I can't do this. I have two kids. I have to. It was like a lot. So when the third was coming, I put out a calendar in the kitchen, literally a big ass calendar that I used to make myself because back then, I don't think we even had Target like that. I don't remember 23 years ago.
Definitely
So
not.
I don't, yeah. So I remember I made it myself. And what I did was that I used to have the days divided, and I would let them know, like, listen, Mondays is for Alan. That's the oldest, right? I'm just giving you an example. Tuesdays is for Kylie. That meant that they had my undivided attention and we did whatever they wanted to do. Wednesdays were for mommy. That meant that um, when I wanted to do my nails, for example, or anything like even go to, I remember we had a Kmart. Even go to Kmart, they had to come with me and they had to behave because it was mommy's day.
Yeah.
Um, and then Thursdays were for the youngest, so that meant that we went to the library. We did baby stuff, right? Toddler shit. And then Fridays was for home. We needed to do things for the house, which meant everyone has a chore. So that's how I divided my time when they were little. But as they got older and they had their own activities, and life adds on, especially as someone that I have a creative outlet. I do other things. I have a podcast. How can I not say that?
Yes.
As they're older, and I have things to do that entail me, like I'm single, so that entails I'm gonna date someone, right? Eventually. Um, I have to make a commitment to myself. Literally get up and put it in a journal or put it in somewhere, write it so I can see it, that I have to make a commitment for myself, whether it's every day, 45 minutes, whether to move, exercise, walk outside, or meditate, whatever it is. I know that I have a commitment to myself, and then everyone around me needs to respect that, and they understand that at this point. They all do. Like right now I'm recording, and I told my son, like, I'm gonna be recording. Don't speak loud, right? And don't
Mm.
come and interrupt me and pick up my phone calls, and let them know that I'm recording. And
Yes.
that's they're used to it already. They're done. They're like, and the way that you respect yourself and the boundaries that you put for yourself and the commitment that you make to yourself for yourself, others sometimes have an issue with it at the beginning, but then they roll with it. And then they start asking you, how did you do that? And you start giving tips, and they start doing it because you are a person, right? You are human. You're just not mom. And that's the
That's
mistake that culturally, not a mistake, but culturally, that's something that we learned, that motherhood is so hard. Is about sacrifices.
yes.
You sacrifice yourself, and you never ever ever, god forbid, even for a gift, like you ask your mom, what do you want, and they don't even know. I could
Hmm.
tell you what the fuck I want. I'll give you a list. Right.
It's this image of la madre abnegada, like
Mm-hmm.
sufriendo,
Mm-hmm.
sacrificándose por sus hijos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that that is not something that we do culturally, like, you try to go above and beyond for your children. Pero um, I feel like the only way to be a really good mom is to make time for yourself and to set those boundaries. Because a lot of the time, I cannot mom right if I don't make time for myself.
Of course, and that is a sacrifice. You know how hard it is at the beginning to even make that commitment to yourself? That's a sacrifice. You know
Yes.
how hard it is for me? I tell people I don't watch TV, and everybody gets very surprised. And people think it's, oh, because I'm reading a book. It's not that. It's not that. It's that when they were younger, I didn't watch TV. I could not watch TV for 2 hours. I had shit to do. So I got so used to not watching TV because I was always doing something for the kids.
Yes.
So or for the household. And I was a married woman for 20 years. You understand? I've been a registered nurse since 1,000 years ago,
Hmm.
since 2003. So all my time has been working, going to school, being a mom. I had other things. I couldn't watch TV. I got used to not watching TV. So now when I am integrating, like I just started like a week ago, just watching certain things on HBO Max or like a Netflix series. I just watched the Luis Miguel series, and that's been a sacrifice for me because I have to sit and watch TV. That's self-sacrificing, because when you are used to on the move, you got is a reminder. And for me, like you said, um in order for me to be a happy person first and then a good mom, to the best of my abilities, I have to be happy and I have to be good to me. If you're mean to yourself, or if you don't care about yourself, or you don't have a commitment to yourself, how can you?
Yes.
Everything that a kid will tell you will irritate you. You know how much they talk.
Yeah.
You have to
I mean,
listen.
I know I'm a teacher.
Exactly. I don't even know how you do that. Honestly, like that's crazy right there.
Let me tell you, I wasn't always like
Headache.
this though. No, a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I wasn't always like this, so I used to be kind of like, taking that madre abnegada role
Mm-hmm.
from seeing my mother
Right.
sacrificing,
Mm-hmm.
sacrificing
And they
all
take
the
pride in
time.
that. They
No,
take
yeah,
pride.
and if that makes you feel good, but I know
Mm-hmm.
that I cannot be a good mom to my kid unless I meet my own needs first.
Right.
And yes, I take care of my child and I go above and beyond. But there's moments that yes, I do go on a date. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I do take myself out to dinner. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I do go to the movies by myself. Things that make me happy
Mm-hmm.
to be able to, you know, you can't, what is it that people say? You can't pour from an empty cup. So
Mm-mm.
you have to make time for yourself to fill that cup
Mm-hmm.
because there's no way that you can, you know, be the right, exactly, like make yourself happy first before you're able to be a good mother. You
Mm-hmm.
know, even if it's something tan sencillo like going to get my eyebrows done,
That
going to
is
get
your
my nails
time.
done. Hello?
Your time.
Hay gente que no lo hacen, and I'm like, it couldn't be me,
And the thing is that,
honestly.
like I said before, it's about stages. You see, like right now, when they were younger, those were the things that I used to take time for. Like that was my time, the nails or maybe my eyebrows or whatever. That was my time. However, as they get older, my time changes, right? And also my lifestyle has changed because from married to single, it has changed. So now my time is a little bit I don't have to step away per se because I could do stuff here in the house and they're older and I don't have to like set anything up for them, whether it's food, clothing, whatever you do when they're little, right? So now I can do a lot of things here myself in my house. So for me, my time definitely is just disconnecting because what I do for a living in both situations, whether it's the creative side or the nursing part, it involves giving to others and being service to others. So that will deplete my energy totally if I can't disconnect and just align, reconnect to myself and have that time to myself. So that's my time now. However, when they were little, my time was to get out. I used to leave and do my eyebrows, whatever, like just do something. Now yo ya ni me arreglo la ceja. Ya, yo me la quito yo misma y yo me la coloreo. Like I don't do none of that anymore. But I used to. That's funny because you said that. I'm like, yeah, I used to do that. Like I used to just step out just to do that because that was my time.
Claro. It is just, good on the go, like being on the go constantly,
Mm-hmm.
um, has effects on people. So the next question I had is, why is it important to have a work-life balance? Why do you feel it's important?
Well, for me, it's important because the type of work that I do, I'm in the world of service. I service in the nursing career, and I service in my creative side. Um, Therefore, I have to have balance. I wouldn't be able to receive um, anyone's issues, whether it's spiritually or physically or emotionally, I wouldn't be able to hold space for them because I would probably be not even aware enough to make any recommendations or to even be a good listener.
Yes.
I would probably be thinking about the shit that I'm not doing or the things that I'm doing and all over the place um, instead of being centered in the now and just concentrating when I'm a nurse. And where the patient is having trouble, I can be compassionate or I can. Right now, my line of work is not so much of patient care when it comes to nursing, it's more like the beauty and wellness. Um, the beauty and wellness industry, but that's even more when you come to think about it because the person looks good like you and I, like they're not sick, but they come to get better, right? Or more beautiful,
Yes.
right? They're beautiful, but they came to, get that service to look even better, that Botox or whatever it is, right? That IV with vitamins and whatever. So if I don't take care of myself, I can't present to you, look, you do this vitamin and you're going to feel good because this is what I do. I don't look like it. I sure don't fucking look like it, right? It's just like, no. That's one. Two, and if if I'm not present where I can listen to your concerns, this is Sandy, this is how I feel, and this is how I think I look when I see myself in the mirror. I need this, I don't know, collagen or Botox or whatever. um for me, I feel like if I'm not happy doing that and in the moment and with the person and really understanding how they feel, because I'm so worried or because I'm so into, I'm not being balanced. I'm more like maybe at home thinking about the kids or whatever your brain does, then it's a disservice to the client. And the same thing in the other stuff that I do. As a stylist, if you come over or if I come over to you and I'm helping you put a mood board together of the season, like for the fall or whatever, if I'm not in there in the moment with that energy, it's going to transfer into what I'm giving you.
Yep.
There, and I know that. And I know that because not because I haven't been there, it's because I'm always there. I'm always like in that energy, and like it's always a hit. Not for nothing, but it's always a hit because I'm in that moment. Like, and you're gonna feel it when I take out those clothes and put them together for you and tell you how you're going to put them and how one thing could elevate the other, and I'm talking to you, you get motivated. I'm telling you, you'll be like, yo, I'm gonna wear that shit tomorrow, I'm gonna put it like this, I'm gonna do that, and we get into it together. It's a frequency.
Claro.
It's a frequency, it's an energy, it's a momentum. So that's why you have to have balance. And when I come home, I leave everything, all that is out the door. When I'm home, I told you, I texted you today and I was like, yo, I was busy. I'm gonna record with you, but I'm gonna record at a certain time because I wanna cook, but I wanna cook. I don't wanna think that I have to do recording, that I'm running late. None of that. It's a disservice to you, Marcy.
Yeah.
And to myself. Because we wanna do this, right? We wanna have a conversation and we wanna be in the moment. I don't want to think about that I had to do the dishes or que no me quedó bien la carne porque estaba un rápido. No, yo me cociné mi carne, puse mi salsa. I chopped the onions. I did everything that I had to do. I had dinner with my son because nada más quedo yo y mi hijo, el chiquito ahora. La niña está en la universidad y el grande no vive conmigo. So it's him and I. We ate. Después que yo terminé, yo hasta quemé sage antes de empezar, me puse mi pintalabio, toda mi cosa. Because, like I said, everything is balanced and just slowing down.
Yes. I feel like you touched on a very important point, which is being present, right? How important it is to be present. Like, do everything con gusto. O sea, take your time. There's no reason to be rushing, you know? And I feel like that you really, like, your energy, you can tell, like, the way that you are, que tú estás bien calmada, like the way that the conversation is flowing, is important to be present in the moment. People are always like on this go, go, go thing. And yes, we have a lot of things to do, pero también, like you said, it's a disservice if we don't honor, the time that we're dedicating to do certain things. It shows.
Right. Y tú sabes que I was thinking when you said that is also setting you up for failure. When
Claro.
I feel that if I have to be honest with myself, and I have to, and it's hard to be like, wait, before I try to do all of that, let me just hit Marcy up because it's not that serious. It is
Mm-hmm.
serious, but it's not that serious. We can push it. We can push it to another time so we can do this right. And I'm not
Claro.
rushing into anything and feeling resentful, like I have to do something. Conchole, porque
Mm-hmm.
Marcy me preguntó sabiendo que yo estoy busy. Esto que lo, because that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. But that's a conscientious decision. That's you stopping and looking as an outsider, like a third person to yourself and be like, yo, what are you doing here? All right, let's think about this. Let's call her. It's not that serious. Let's
Mm-hmm.
call her
Mm-hmm.
and get this done. And that way you're in the moment and everything is all good. You get everything
Yes.
done because time is essential, right? But at the same time it's a constriction,
Yes, I agree.
if it makes any sense.
You know, it does, definitely. Um, our next question
Mm-hmm.
is how does not being in balance reflect on the body? Because I know you and I are like very spiritual people, so I know that stress can reflect on the body in a certain way, but like not being in balance, how does that usually reflect in people?
Well, in
So
general, as a nurse, and I have to study the systems, um, but I was a GI nurse, which is a gastroenterologist nurse for a long time, for like more than 15 years. What I realized is that a lot of the diseases, like chronic inflammation of the colon, diverticulosis, hold on, Crohn's disease, a lot of diseases like celiac disease. There was a lot of diseases, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. What we noticed was that if the patient came just to get rid of the symptoms, then we were putting a band-aid on the situation, but it was never cured. It was just a
mhm,
band-aid until the band-aid comes off again and then another band-aid. And the band-aid was either medications or big interventions like an endoscopy, with interventions inside. We did, I don't know, we even did Botox injections in people with hyper activity in the stomach because they
mhm,
had a lot of acid reflux.
mhm,
And we had to have the patient come every 3 months and get these injections inside the stomach. With that being said, what we started noticing is that certain people came for certain diseases, right? I'm gonna give you an example. People that never had IBS, all of a sudden, they had a highly stressful job. Um, they were just promoted to CEO of I don't know what. We had young women and men that were just promoted or in college students. So mainly around the age of 20 to 18 to 40, that age group have a
mhm,
lot of IBS. Like almost everyone will come in. They have and great looking people, healthy, young, vibrant. And then when we got to the nitty gritty, not just like just by talking to them. So what do you do for a living? We were just waiting for an IV or whatever, or I'm
mhm,
putting an IV and I want to just ask questions. And they would tell me, I'd be like, I will start putting one and two together. The mind, especially that we have a nerve that is called the vagus nerve. The
mhm,
vagus nerve is connected to your stomach. And that nerve plus your mind together, if it's overworking, if it's stressed out and it has a lot of anxiety, it overworks your stomach too and your colon. So you see how it starts getting, and then when if you have a lot of acid reflux, for example, because you have stress and you have a lot of acid reflux, okay, you take a Pepsid or a Zantac, whatever. Fine, if you do. But most of the times, people don't even remember to take the medication, especially you're young. You take it sometimes, you take it most of the times. If it's really bothering you, you take it, but then tomorrow you don't take it, whatever. Let's think about this. So you have acid reflux. Do you think it stays just as acid reflux? No. If you keep having acid coming up, it's gonna come to your teeth. If you have
It erodes
teeth,
your teeth, right?
okay, it erodes your teeth, right? Bad breath, right? Fucked up teeth. Okay, given. All right. That's only the tip of the iceberg. A lot of acid reflux in your stomach, the lining of your esophagus is supposed to be like the lining on the side of your mouth, just like the side of your mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That acid reflux destroys that lining. If when you get it destroyed, that causes cancer of your throat, cancer of the esophagus, cancer of the stomach. You see how one thing leads to the other? It all
Wow.
started with your brain sending signals, your vagus nerve saying, I'm stressed out, I'm stressed out, I'm stressed out, I gotta, you're on flight response, the flight or flight. Remember that thing that they showed us
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
school, I think in middle school?
Yeah.
So that would affect that. If you have cancer, then what happens, right? Hello. So,
I
but
see.
one thing always affects the other. I'm going to give you another example before we move on. So if you don't have a lot of peristalsis in your, and that's a lot of just movement in your colon, because you're too
Mm-hmm.
stressed out, you're too fucking busy to exercise and move your ass. And then for a living, you are maybe a bus driver or a teacher, someone who sits a long time. Um, Give me someone else that sits a lot. I'm not sure. A secretary, right? You sit all
Yeah.
day, but you're on the phone, whatever. So because you're so stressed out from your job and you didn't move, you just stressed out. You're sitting, right? Okay, so then you find yourself not moving your bowels like you usually do, or it's hard for you. Either you're constipated because of that, which you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, and you're not drinking water as often because you're so busy that you don't even think that you need to drink that much water. So you're not moving your bowels. What happens is that you become constipated, right? Then the constipation leads to hemorrhoids.
Mm-hmm.
Then the hemorrhoids leads to, the next thing, and then the next, you understand? So, and not only do you get overweight, but you get stomach aches, then the ache, and then one thing always affects the next system because there's no system in your body that is not connected. And that's why it's important.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on that. Before I got divorced, I was constantly in that fight or flight, and I was in a very stressful job in finance. I was actually really, overweight, and I remember feeling this constant like something in the pit of my stomach. Tuve
Like
como
a knot.
esa inquietud, ajá. Entonces, and then because of the relationship that I was in, it was like constantly go, 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 like something's going on,
Mhm.
always waiting for the other shoe to drop. When I finally left that relationship, my body responded. I was even having pain in my body, like
Mhm.
constant back pain, things
Mhm.
like that. And when I finally left that relationship, that I was able to breathe and bring it back in. And I was doing a lot of things. Like I went back to school to get my master's to become a teacher. I did all these things. My son had just gotten diagnosed. But the amount of stress went down so significantly that a lot of the things that I was suffering from, I was no longer suffering from.
Right.
So it's incredible.
Because
It's really
everything is
incredible.
connected. And with that being said, I'm going to piggyback on what you said. I'm going to share my personal story because I wouldn't be me if I don't do that. So, myself, when I was going through the divorce, before a major breakup, you just don't break up. It takes time, right?
Yeah.
There's like the separation, the mental separation, then the physical separation, and then we were living in the same house separation. We had a home, so there was bienes that needed to be separated. You just don't, it doesn't happen overnight. So
Mm-hmm.
all of that, plus we had children and a life together, it was taking a toll on me emotionally because even though it was the right thing for us to do, it's still painful. It's very painful and it's life altering. especially when you feel that your children's lives also is going to be altered. Um, so at the time, mentally, I was very distressed over that. And if I show you pictures of what I looked like, I looked literally, I was 98 pounds and I'm 140 now.
Oh my God.
So when I see the pictures, people be like, "Oh, you look so cute," but people don't know that
Internally.
to me, I looked like I had a cancer because it was a cancer. It was eating me. And I was eating. It's just that it was eating me up alive. So literally, like if you see a picture, when I show you a picture, you would be like, "Shit, you look so different." And the glow is different. To me, I look gray. I did not glow. I looked gray.
Mm,
Even though I had makeup and I was pretty, I wasn't ever not pretty, but it wasn't healthy. And I was not in a diet. It was just that my body couldn't, like, there's people that gain the weight and I was just shedding it left and right, that it was so unhealthy. Nada
mm-hmm,
me servía. So, and slept all day and slept all day and didn't have the energy or the will, if you might say. I even had to get on medication for antidepressants and anti-anxiety
wow.
for like 2 years. I did that because it was just a lot to handle at the time, and my body was just shutting down on me. Like the depression and the anxiety that I had was incredible. And for sure I could, like you said, pain. That's how I used to feel pain, but um I couldn't even tell you where the pain was. It's just pain. Like just not only heartbreak, but pain in your body, physical pain.
Yeah.
So I know that's true. And that's another thing. Like there's a lot of people, that patients that will come in and they're like, they have a name for it, unexplainable pain. And even if you listen to your mom, maybe not, I don't know your mom, but I'm just giving you an example. Like I remember when I was growing up listening to certain aunts or moms or whatever say, um, me duele todo, me duele esto, me duele aquello, me duele la espalda,
I
no puedo
see.
ni parar. Tenían días que no se pueden ni, que nada más te decían eso, pero when you really ask them, where's the pain? Can you give me, a description of your pain? Is it sharp? Is it this? They wouldn't be able to tell you because
Mm-hmm,
it wasn't pain like that. It was more like depression.
mm-hmm,
Depression makes your whole body, affects all of your systems, all of it,
mm-hmm,
not only mentally, physically, and every organ. You don't even go to the bathroom like you should.
mm-hmm,
You don't eat like you should. Either you overeat, or you don't eat, or you don't drink water, all those things, and of course it's going to affect you.
mm-hmm. I agree. Oh man, I'm just glad that we're in a spot that we are better and we are prioritizing ourselves, you know,
Amen.
above other things. Taking mental health days is I feel like that's important as well. People don't really talk about it. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So this is a controversial thing. What would you say to people that call you selfish?
Oh, I get that a lot. um, Nowadays, I hardly hear it that much. I hardly hear that. But I used to hear that a lot. Um, I'm not going to say from who, but I've heard it a lot. And I used to believe it. And there was a time that I will say that. I will say to people, "Oh, I'm selfish and I'm not a good mom because I'm selfish."
Oh,
Because I used to hear that a lot. And I took time to do work on myself. And I one time I took like a week of looking at myself in the mirror and calling myself selfish a lot, to the point that I would cry and be crying and crying and be very upset about it and just cry. And then it came a day in that week. I don't remember what, in the third day or the fourth day, that I was saying it to myself, and then it had no power anymore. I started laughing and smiling, and I called myself selfish. And I'm like, yeah, you fucking selfish. Yeah, bitch, you fucking self. It just took the whole power away from it. Now, if you want to call me selfish, you go ahead, call me selfish. I am everything that you think I am, and more, because I have more stuff for that I know that I am. But I'm everything that you think I am, because you know what you think I am is coming from you, your perceptions, what you think of the world, what you think of other women, what you think about yourself, and it's your situation that you need to deal with. So I'm all good. I'm not gonna change your lens or your glasses, none of that. I already changed mine. It has no power over me, and I know what I'm doing. And when I don't know what I'm doing, I go back to the drawing table, and I know how to ask for forgiveness. I know how to say that I'm sorry, that I made a mistake or whatever to my kids, and I know how to rectify. So, and we have communication here. So you might feel that I'm selfish because I'm not telling you the whole story, but my kids know the story. When we
True.
sit here on the table and we're talking about whatever, like my kids know, I'll tell them, next week I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to work here and there and there. We're going to get ready for this. We're doing that. We're doing this. And when I say we, it's me. I'm the one that's flying to Atlanta. But my kids feel like they're all part of it. I'm not doing this alone. And they know that. So I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm selfless, actually. I give a lot of myself to the people around me. And I take care of myself. And if you want to say that I'm selfish for that, go ahead. Call it whatever. I read the dictionary. I know what that means. I'm good.
A lot of people would criticize. Like, for example, Comadre, they would invite me to like these events, and they're like, "Oh, why didn't you bring your son?" I was like, "If I bring my son, I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the event." They're like, I'm like, no, it's not that. There's things that I do with my kid, and there's things that I do for myself.
Right.
And if I really want to have a good time and enjoy myself, I don't bring my son around, because there's a time and place for everything. And when I'm trying to be Marcy the woman, being a mom shouldn't be something like, como te digo, like, it shouldn't be something that I'm hindering myself because I have to be a mom, and I can't let go and like compartmentalize things. So yeah, I've been, some people like who shouted my
Marcy,
name.
let me ask you a question. Is it even fair for your Aiden to go to somewhere that he's gonna be triggered or uncomfortable or behaving a certain way because maybe that's who he is, who knows, and then it kind of disrupts the situation or wherever you are? Is it fair for him? Because you already know he has an issue, or that he's one and he's going to be walking a lot, right? Like when they're toddlers and going up and down the stairs of someplace. You know this, but you brought him. Is it fair for him that doesn't know, but it's you the one that know, you still bring him, and then you're going to be upset or like taking him away from things or taking things from his hand? Is it fair for him?
That's definitely not fair. So that's the thing that people don't see. Like, there's certain choices that we make as mothers. I call those executive decisions. There's decisions that we make that is for the benefit of our children, and we know our children better than anybody else. Like, there's a lot of people that they want to give you shit. Like, they're like, oh, like, okay, tú no debería de No, yo conozco mi muchacho. I know my kid.
I'll give you
You
an
know what I'm
example
saying?
about that, about people asking you questions with the intention of kind of looking down at you for your decisions. I was asked, do you miss your daughter when she left to college? And I was like, to be honest, it caught me by surprise. I would have thought of the answer, especially
Mm-hmm.
who I was answering to. I should have stopped and like know how I was gonna answer that. But I just answered, and it was obvious that the other person didn't receive it too well. Because I said, no, I don't miss her. I didn't miss her. And she was like, what? Like her face it changed the whole thing. And she was like, okay, but in a judgmental way.
Of course.
And I had to retract and explain myself. I was like, well, it's not that I don't miss my daughter physically. It's just that I, before she went away um, to college, I picked up hobbies. I picked up a hobby, which was whatever it was, right? I'm going to tell you what is going to go even crazier now. It was pole dancing. I picked up a hobby.
Okay.
So I picked up a hobby, and then I was asked to be part of the podcast also. So I had two
Mm-hmm.
hobbies, and I reupholster stuff in the house all the time. I buy
I love
vintage
seeing you do that.
furniture. I paint, like I do stuff, right? So I was doing all those things to because I'm not just a mother, right? And although not that I miss my daughter, although my daughter was leaving, I knew that all I did was just not being her mother. I also was a person with interests. So I was busy doing those things. And then, so when she left, my nest was not empty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it makes any sense. It wasn't
No, I
empty.
know what you're saying.
And I do
You,
miss her in the sense that I know that she's not here, but I talk to her and we FaceTime and we text and we share memes and she comes over the weekend. So I did not cry. And people were asking me that too. Like, oh my God, it's going to be so sad. I didn't cry. I just dropped her off. I was excited for her. She was going to do what I didn't do. She was going to leave and be independent and study not in the house and not listening to mom telling her, mira, ven a recoger el cuarto o vete a lavar, vete a fregar. None of that. Like she's
mm-hmm.
studying. She's not here. She's over there doing her thing. She's independent. And I'm watching her soar. I'm watching her fly. That is dope. Like, and she's
Yes.
right there. Like she is a phone call away. No, I don't even think she misses me.
I was going to say that I want to piggyback off what you said is that you and your daughter have this beautiful, I love seeing how you guys are together. And yes, you don't miss her physically because I feel like the closeness you guys have, even though she's not physically there,
You said it.
she's still present.
You said it. You see, I didn't that part I didn't realize. You nailed it. You actually nailed it because I wasn't able to decipher that. And it's actually what you said. It's that we are close and we have a mother-daughter relationship. We're not friends. She has her friends, I have mine. But we do have a closeness and there's trust between us where she knows that she can talk to me and it stays with me. I don't tell my best friend and I don't tell the ladies in the kitchen. No, whatever she tells me stays with me. I don't even call her father unless I really, really have to. And when I do, if I am going to, I let her know I have to tell your father.
Yeah.
But I'm not her friend. I'm her mother. but at the same time, we know what to talk to each other about and when to bring each other into a conversation, whether it's something that we don't like, because I do
Mm-hmm.
things that she doesn't like, and she will tell me. And sometimes, because of my upbringing, it takes me back and I want to
Mm-hmm.
say something back, like what my mother would have told me, or like
Mm-hmm.
what my uncle would have said. And I have to be like, yo, like, she's, that means I did a good job, and that she's good, because she's actually having that conversation with me, and
Yes.
not having it with her friend bad mouthing me or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, she's sitting down and letting me know how she feels, or how I made her feel, or what triggers came up when I said this, that, and the other. And that's something that
Mm-hmm.
I taught her. So I can't say anything that means that I taught her well. Just the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with my son. I called him on Monday. I had a business opportunity for him. He's 23. And the day before, we had spent time together, and we were talking about finances, whatever, and talking to him about, what is he doing, like what's going on with the money, blah blah blah. And he says to me, oh, I just need more. He always needs more money, but 23, he always needs more
Mm-hmm.
money, but he's not like making the effort of making more money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he says to me, yeah, whatever. So on Monday, I had a business opportunity, and I called him and I said, you have a few minutes? Let me just explain to you. It's really easy. All you got to do is just take this out of my car. I have some product in my car, and you take it out for me and we put it in a storage, and my boss is going to pay you. I had some product that I had to deliver to a warehouse, because
Mm-hmm.
we had like a festival last week in New York City, and there was a lot
Mm-hmm.
of product left over, product as in liquor. So I
Yeah.
tell him, babe, all you gotta do is just take it out. I could find like a lot of people that do it, but I'm thinking of
Claro.
him. So I'm like, let me just call him. He said he needed money, so let me do this. And he goes to me, I'm not in the space right now. I'm not in the space of doing that mentally. I'm not in the space. I just came out of work, and I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I want to actually take a shower. I want to drink my tea, and I want to smoke some trees. So I'm not in the space for that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you know what? I respect that. That's cool. I was like, I kind of wanted to say, motherfucker, like, I pay your cell phone. What do you mean you're not in the space for it? And this and that and the other. Que space ni que ocho. Toda esa
Mm-hmm.
cosa que we learned. But I was like, he is speaking my language. There's boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the thing of what I think you should do, and there's things of what's better for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always taught him that you have to do what's best for you, because he struggles with mental health issues. And the reason why he has made it to the age of 23 is because not only therapy, but also because he lives in a household where it's always told to him, you come first. And when you don't feel like you should do something, don't do it. It's a disservice to the next person. I don't want you to do anything and be slamming things, or
Mm-hmm.
tirando chuipi, or upset, and having that
Mm-hmm.
energy around me. Don't. Even if it's money involved, that let it not be that the intention. Money should never be the intention to move you to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you want
I
to,
love that.
and that's it. So I had to actually talk to myself and be okay with his answer, and respect his answer, and be like, all right, babe, no worry. Boom, boom, hang up, call somebody else. The next person was like, I can't believe your son said no, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I believe it. It's the truth. He said no. It's okay. But it's okay, though. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It turns out well, because you know what? You're doing it. you're doing it and you have money, right? Let's do this. Come on. Let's do it. And that's it. Let it go. Let it go. And that's something that the French, we're not friends, but the relationship that I have with my son also, that when he didn't move in with me, I didn't cry and I didn't miss him tampoco because we have a relationship where he can call me, I can call him. We go on lunch dates. If I know like there's an exhibit that he likes, I buy tickets. We do that. But I definitely, not only the good things, especially the bad things. The bad things, I get that phone call. Because with my 23-year-old dealing with mental health issues, he can trust me. And he makes that phone call. And yeah, sometimes it's emotionally it's painful. Because as a mom, you don't want your kids to be going through that. You wish that it would be you. You wish that you will take those broken wings and you could exchange them for yours.
Yep.
So I know that those phone calls are difficult, but I'm glad he makes them. That he's able to call me and say, "Mom, today is not a good day." And that I'm not freaking out and I'm not blaming him for his issues or whatever, or for feeling a certain way, or I'm blaming this. Nope. We'll be like, all right, no problem, babe. Let's see how you feeling, what's going on. That, and if I have to make a phone call to a doctor or whatever, and I ask him and he tells me what level of, situation he's going through, and we deal with that. So that's why I'm like, I don't miss them. I'm good. Yeah.
I love that. I love the point of letting them set their boundaries as well.
Yeah.
And going back to that question that you asked me about, is it fair to Aiden? I also let him enforce his boundaries. I ask him, Papi, do you want to do this when it's something that's optional? And he'll tell me straight up, no, thank you.
Yeah,
and
they know.
I honor that.
They know.
And I honor that. Yo lo dejo tranquilo because at the end of the day, what is the purpose of having him possibly have a meltdown with regards to something that I'm making him do when he told me already that he did not want to do it? Y ha pasado. And, dealing with that situation, like, just like thinking in retrospect, that could have all been avoided had I honored, his wishes.
Y déjame decirte que my daughter taught me that lesson very well when she was 3. When she was 3, ella me dijo a mí that she didn't want to wear an angel costume that I had bought her for Halloween, that she wanted to be Buzz Lightyear like her brother. Y yo quería una princesa, porque para eso fue que yo parí una hija. So en mi mente, I was like, yo tengo una hija hembra y yo quiero ponerle un costume de angelito con los cosos, con los wings y toda la vaina. And I was like, I want to, I was happy. And I ordered it and I was happy. And she was like, I don't want that. I want to be Buzz Lightyear. Y yo diciéndole que no y que no y que no. So guess what happened, girl, for Halloween con ese costume? Me lo tuve que comer yo. Esa niña, si ella se paró del piso, ella no se paraba con el costume puesto. No quería ir trick or treating. Salirse del carro fue un show. Todo fue, mira, esas fotos quedaron así mismo como ella estaba. Oíste, así mismo. Mind you, that week when her brother let go of the costume, ella se lo puso en la semana. Ella estaba para arriba y para abajo, so happy with her costume. Y yo le tiré foto con el costume del hermano. Y ella estaba feliz. And I was like, if I would have bought her the freaking costume, como ella me dijo, we would have not been going through all of that. It's unnecessary.
Claro.
It's so,
and it's a learning experience for you.
She taught me that lesson. And from there on, first of all, Kylie taught me a lot of lessons. I used to write a lot. I used to keep a journal just about her because, yo la iba a matar.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because she used to be like, I don't want to wear that. And it was so different from my son. I would take out clothes for him and he'd be like, okay. I buy him clothes. You just go to children's place, buy clothes, right? Gap, whatever. Never an issue. Se ponía la ropa.
Kylie, boys are easier with that stuff.
Oh, my God. Kylie used to be like, I'm not wearing that. I want to wear my boots in the summer. And I used to be like, but it's summertime, esto no va con eso, o lo que sea. And she was like 3. And she used to be like, I want to wear my boots. And you know what? Fuck it. Wear your fucking boots. Y salíamos para la calle. Wear your boots. I don't care. Wear your boots. I don't care.
For Halloween now, I was like, Aiden, do you want to go trick or treating? This is our tradition. Like, we go to Jersey. My mom lives in the suburbs, and I dress him up and we go out. I put on a costume también. I'm not trick or treating. Le digo yo, papi, do you want to go trick or treating? He's like, no, thanks, mom. And I was like, cool. Do you want to wear your costume? He's like, yes, mommy. So he put on his little skeleton costume. He let me take pictures of him outside. And that's it. And that's all he wanted. Y yo no lo iba a forzar.
No.
Because at the end of the day, what do we gain with that?
¿Qué?
But
No.
nada.
¿Qué?
Entonces,
y eso es cosa
like,
que uno aprendió de que qué dirán, Ay, que después fulano va a ver que yo no lo llevé trick or treating, que sé yo qué. Listen, it is what, but okay, I told you. My daughter's 18 now, and she taught me the greatest lesson. When she was 3 years old, she taught me that she has a personality, that she has a say, that there are such things as options. And I had to go and read because back then there was no, there wasn't any Google or anything.
No, we didn't have Google.
No. So I used to get Parents Magazine, and I used to read
that's a good one.
all the time on, because I didn't have to read that for my son, for the oldest. So with her, I had to read like behavior. When they want to do something, you have to distract them, or rewarding, or this. Like, I had to do all of that. Although she was a very she wasn't behind in anything. She was very smart, and she wasn't spoiled. Ella no era malcriada. She was doing normal things that triggered me because of me growing up. They were not allowed for me to do. So I knew that they were normal, but I was being triggered as a mom. Like, especially when I used to hear even family members, esa muchacha hace lo que ella quiera, tú la dejas hacer lo que ella quiera, tú vas a ver, fuera miela y le diera, ahora me mito, le doy coño que no sigue esto con lo otro, le doy que no jode más. And I didn't have to hit Kylie. And I could go, I had 3 kids. And when I'm telling you, just like when you listening right now, así mismo se oía siempre en mi casa. You never heard them. Se portaban bien, yo iba con ellos para todos los lados. No se portaban mal. They used to listen. But that took a lot of self-discipline from my part, of a lot of reading and all of that, and also understanding them as people and giving them options and all of that. And that shit was hard.
Yeah, because we weren't raised like
No.
¿Tú te acuerdas de que tú, mira, muchacha?
Los muchachos no hablan. Los muchachos no hablan.
Se ven y no se escuchan. Which is it's like invalidating your voice. Pero comadre, this has been amazing conversation.
Sí. We're like talking, right? Like en la sala, hablando disparate.
Sí. I admire you, the way you balance everything.
Thank you.
You are a phenomenal mother. You are a phenomenal woman.
Babe. So are you.
And career person. So we're going to start signing off. Follow me at Comadreando Pod, and follow Sandy on her IG for her podcast. Sandy, can you drop the handle?
So the podcast, the Instagram for my podcast is The Art of Happy Her Podcast. And it's Happy, HAPPIHER, Happy Her Podcast. The Art of Happy Her.
Awesome. All right. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a Comadre-Gram on IG. You can also send me emails at comadreando@yesseethenetwork.com. And thank you for spending time with your comadres.
Bye, guys. See you soon.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandy. I love
Hey,
you.
babe. Love you too. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye, babe. So you